Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome, folks, again to the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host, but by George, you are also the host. We've got work to do, folks. We've got a new form of government here in the city of Portland. We got all kinds of activities. We got representation up in Congress, in the main swamp. I mean, that's an awesome deal. We've got a congressman person now. At one point in time, used to own part of the business down here in the northeast Portland area, in our swamp here in Oregon. And our swamp here in Oregon is District Number 2. District Number 2, Portland. Wow! And she was just elected to Congress. This young lady's name was, who am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the young lady that won the congressional seat.
Is that Janelle Bynum?
Janelle Bynum. There you go. As you can see, we've got the young man in the middle of us here, and John's on the outside. You know John, and you know John now. Leuenberger. Remember Leuenberger? Well, here's his son. He's going to be part of the mainstream here on an ongoing basis. So he's in boot camp, but he's getting his stripes real quick, like, because he's got background. He's got the DNA.
Thanks for having me.
So the bottom line is this, folks. What we're going to be doing, this is our first show, if you will, now that the election at this point are over and not over.
Mm-hmm.
People are still, some people are somewhat relaxed from a national perspective. They're relaxed because folks were worried about who was going to get elected. You know, and I'm going to throw some point outs from the standpoint. They said, well, if Senator Harris had won, we might have had riots and things of that nature. That's the mindset that people were thinking about. And then on the other hand, President Trump, who's sitting out, who's heir apparent, come January, he'll be president, former President Trump, if you will, he's running in, but he did have background. He had background, and so he's sitting in the seat. There were two people running for that seat. There's not only one person running. There's only one person who's responding, if you will, and be responsible for that seat, and for all of us, for that matter. It's a nonpartisan slot. But a lot of times, what we have been doing historically, we have been playing politics, sort of carry over politics, and not dealing with the issues that were discussed, the major issues that were discussed. So all of a sudden, sometimes we'll go through the entire 4 years of that person's candidacy, as opposed to responding to the issues that were on the table that we reacted to. And we were fortunate this time around because he happened to have been there. He wanted to be back in the seat. And, the issues came out. They weren't necessarily all his. But, hey, he had to form around those issues. Mm-hmm. And he did. And so now he's the guy that's handling this. He's going to be dealing with those issues. And so that's going to be another interesting topic. We'll talk at another time. But I'm giving you just a brief overview, if you will, of the salad. I'm calling it a salad, sort of interviews on the first shows that we're going to be having, because we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to try to keep it simple. Remember the old adage, keep it simple, stupid. KISS. And boy, I tell you, it makes a lot of sense too, by the way. And so for you viewing, I want you to know one thing too about that too, by the way. As far as keeping it simple, stupid, bottom line, we are employers. The members, i.e. the taxpayers, are employers. The elected officials are our employees. We hired them through the election process.
Through the democratic process.
That's right, democratic process. So everybody that's getting a check from now on, they may be represented, but you remember, you are paying the bill. They represent you. They are the employees. And now we need to start thinking about that and understanding what that means. So consequently, they got to be communicating to you as to what they represent, what you're telling them, what you want done. And then we just recently had this election, and people responded to it. We had media group. We had all kinds of folks involved in that process. And however you think it, we've got folks that are filling these seats. Now that they're filling these seats, you look at them in this new form of government, they have no background. But we got major issues here. In the city of Portland, i.e. in the major swamp, the homelessness is the key. And when you think about all of the other issue, it's the homeless, because if you solve the homeless issue aspect of it, you pretty well solve the majority of the deal, especially for the first round.
Yeah.
But because we've got 3 people, we got 12 we got 12 city commissioners, we got 4 districts, we got 4 major areas, and we got 3 individuals per district. That's awesome. So that means we're not talking about just 1 seat, we're talking about 3 seats in one particular area. So that means the person will, so our representative will, if we do this thing right, if they divide it up into a quote, if you will, into 3 more component parts, you'll have 3 people, individuals, that will have to live in the area. You'll know exactly where they are, and they should know exactly who those individuals that they're representing with. They should be able to knock on every door in their respective area and identify those folks. You know what I mean? So I want to throw that out there to begin with. And now, as you can see, I've got John. John had run. He ran before. He ran also in District Number 1, right? Was that
3. District 3.
Three? Not Loretta Smith. I think Loretta Smith was.
No, and there's significant differences between those.
Okay, but my point is that he ran, and unfortunately, and when I'm throwing this out to John, and because in all due respect, the whole idea about this whole issue of this new form of government, it was going to really get the folks in the community, get new folks with issues to the table. But at the end of the day, the way this thing was laid out, everybody was pretty well confused. And at the end of the day, it was just about money and power, but no background. And since it wasn't emphasized in the election process, we've got exactly what we got. You see some familiar faces like Dan Ryan's in District Number 2. Fortunately for us, if there's going to be picking a chair for each district of the 3 people. Mm-hmm. So Dan is the obvious choice because he has background. He's a city commissioner, got me? And I think it's in District number 4, I think, where Loretta Smith is. Loretta Smith.
She's the one.
She's one.
Yeah.
She Loretta Smith got good background. Former county commissioner for 8 years, that type of routine, and former prior employee of Ron Wyden, Senator Ron Wyden. So obviously, hopefully that'd be a chairperson. Got me? Hopefully. And then we got 3. At one point in time, that's 3. I think we picked a candidate. Jenna was who am I thinking?
There's
former Portland policeman.
Was it Steve Novick, Angelita Murillo?
Well, you got Steve Novak. He was a former commissioner. Beautiful. That's a possibility of a
That's
chair.
District 3, yeah.
3. And what about 4?
We've got Eric Zimmerman, Mitch Green, and Olivia Clark.
I think one of them. I think she might have been I think it was a young lady, and she was very much involved with TriMet. Transportation or something to that, if I'm not mistaken. So my point is that we've got folks who've got some experience, fortunately. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got experience from a political standpoint, but at least they had a job, in their respective job. So that's good stuff, aspect of it. So you've got the lay of the land, but like I said, John was there. I thought he would have been one of the 3. Been great because he has quite a credential because he also served Metropolitan Service District. He did that piece a while, but he had background. He was very familiar, and we had him on the show here, all due because of that, because of his skills and his background. But he didn't get elected. And then there was a former Portland policeman, who was actually not a former. He was a policeman who ran for District Number 2. I think 4. And again, he wasn't selected. I just knew, and he would have been the only Portland police officer for the whole city, serving for the whole city of Portland. And the whole public safety was a heavy area. See what I'm saying?
It would have been great to have him.
Because
he knows what's going on in public streets.
Right off the bat.
He would have known how to tackle the problems right from the get-go.
Yes. And we would not have had the issue of defunding the police, because if he was sitting there, then the issue would have been focusing on him. Got me?
That ran into 4 years.
It's been a whole different ball game aspect of it, I think. But hopefully he's going to stick around and run again. But there's some issues there as far as the police is concerned. I'm throwing this on the table. Like I said, we're talking about a salad piece, and we're going to after I get off my stand, I'm going to get these guys an opportunity to do the same thing. But you notice that the Chief Day,
yeah,
Bob Day, okay, yeah. Chief Day,
yeah,
he's the chief of police, okay. And then his sergeant major, because in all due respect, police department is kind of like paramilitary. And a lot of these guys are former military, but it's paramilitary. People have always assumed that. But when I saw Chief Day, he was in the news. I think it was yesterday or so, and it talked about the fact that he was walking downtown, because there was a lot of focus downtown of the economy and this, that, and the other. and Chief Day was walking, and he's kind of going to get the walking patrol going back. Okay, so he was in uniform, but he was out of uniform. He didn't have his cover. He didn't have his cover, and the reason by that, and I don't know if I don't want to call him Bob Day. He's Chief Day. He's the Chief Day. He's the chief of police. Unfortunately, he just works under the mayor, but realistically, he should be with his troops. But that's what he is. He's supposed to be that. So the bottom line, we need to help him out about that piece because in all due respect, the police department, when they wear that uniform, that's a deterrent. And so people feel comfortable when they see that uniform around if they're downtown. You got me? And elsewhere, for that matter. And also, if they're recognizable, other folks, we got to get them back to the table where the public will recognize them and feel comfortable with them.
Well, on social media, actually, this week, I've seen a couple of or police busts of people who have stolen cars.
Yes.
And they've been apprehended
Yes.
by the Portland Police
Yes.
Department. I want to give them kudos.
Right.
That's been fantastic to see their response
Exactly.
to getting in on those issues, like, you know, stolen cars, which is a problem throughout the city.
Very much so.
Vagrants living within those cars and doing what they do.
Very much so. Very much
and
so.
I want to give kudos to the Portland Police because they've been out there on the streets doing work, getting people safe, giving people safe access, but also getting people their stuff back.
Well, that's a good point, John.
Right.
See, John.
Well,
But wait a minute. But the thing about this, the reason why I'm bringing this point up, he's the young man here. See, sitting with us. You see how
He's gonna be around a
aggressive.
while,
You
see
see how
that?
aggressive he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he got ran to the table talking about publicity. He just put. See, and
Yeah,
here we all been running our mouth all this time.
Yeah, see, he's the young guy. See, the deal is, you and I, as officers, gentlemen,
don't put me on.
the deal
No. I'm a
we're-
Marine, and you are the.
Yeah, we're just seasoned beyond our control. See,
Oh, I'm thankful for your wisdom, though. I would be lost without it.
Well, anyway, but my point is that we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, this is the salad bowl right now.
Yeah.
We're just going to throw in a whole bunch of stuff around the table, and we're going to give an introduction because that's basically what we're going to be doing. I'm doing the first piece. We'll let John do his piece. Then John, we got two Johns here. We got two JJs here, right? Yeah, we get him there, then maybe get JD here. Naturally, we can talk a little bit about him. So anyway, but my point is that we got some work to do on the police department, and we really respect. I really feel comfortable with Chief Day, but Chief, you're out of uniform, and we got to put those uniforms back on because had the gentleman that was running for office, who was running in District Number 4, had he been running for the policeman, who's a policeman now? I think that would really have helped out because he would have been the only representation.
We got that paper.
for
We can
police.
see who it
Yeah,
was.
we'll check him out real quick.
let me
on
look
that
at
piece.
it.
well, they're not allowed to use a picture with a uniform.
No. But see, that's what I'm saying. We got to change that, John. We got to change that. In all due respect, they need to know why we're bringing the reason I'm bringing that point up is that there's a reason, there's a definition as to why they're wearing the uniform. Otherwise, the person can just stay home and call.
Yeah.
No, they got
So
to
that
wear
would
the
be
uniform.
Eli Arnold.
Eli Arnold. I mean a perfect example. Married the whole 9 yards, but he's a cop. He's a bicycle cop downtown.
Former U.S.
Yeah,
Army.
military, big time, helicopter. Oh, the guy was beautiful. We've had him on the show here on a number of occasions, aspect of it. But because of this new form of government, had we had just a regular normal deal, he would have won that seat. And had he been in uniform, we would have won that seat, aspect of it. So with that, I'm just going to go on now and just shift over here to John. We'll let Smitty let you get to see what Smitty's talking.
Absolutely.
Okay, John, what do you think?
Okay, well, one of the things is,
What about your running for office aspect of it? How do you feel that new form of government treated you?
stinks.
Okay, all right, why?
Okay, well, the thing is, one of the major things is that they cut back on the police, and then they had the riots, and if they would have stepped on them the third night, it would have been over, and downtown Portland would be okay. But downtown Portland is almost a ghost town, and in fact, it devalued the property, so the Multnomah County is suddenly $21 million under budget, because they run out of money because of the property tax has gone down, and the thing is because they cut back on the police and everything. The thing is that on the stolen cars and stuff, accidents have been higher. In 2021 it was over 45,000 nationally, and 2022 is over 46,000. Has 260 people a day, 7 days a week.
Not cutting you off at this point in time, but what about the form of government? You ran under
Okay,
that program.
okay.
What about that piece? What did what did you
One
find?
of the real thing that's wrong, and I'm going to send a email to the mayor-elect. One, you do not have the veto, so you have to watch all those measures that come down. And the deal is, if you don't like them, you're going to have to hold a press conference telling the people, you talk to these consulars to vote it down. Because the thing is, if they voted in, 7 out of 12 voted in, he's stuck because there is no veto power. So he has to cut it off at the pass. Now, it could be the fact that they want to pass a bill that people like, but the fact is it's in violation of state or federal or law. And in fact, a lot of places have done that. They says, we're going to pass it anyway. Then there's certain organizations would come out and take it to the state Supreme Courts, and it would cost them $125,000, $250,000, and they would lose because the Supreme Court would says this measure you're passing is in violation of state law, or they take it to the feds and it's violation of federal law, and it's wiped out. And that's the main on that part. And on the homeless thing, the thing is, in Resolution A in 1981, the thing is the county took over the jails, and they took over the bridges because nobody wanted the bridges, and they took over social services. The homeless is a social service, and the county should be running the program. Of course, with the chair of the county that they have now, that would be difficult. But the thing is, they're the ones that are supposed to do that.
Okay.
Because what happened when I came in, almost all the cities expanded. There's very little unincorporated Multnomah County, and Multnomah County was a full-service government. But now their three things is the jails, the bridges, and the social services.
Okay, but at the same point, I'm still asking that point. You were a candidate running for office
Yeah.
in this new form of government.
Yeah.
How did you feel about whether was it a good process to basically to attract and get those individuals that would respond to the issues of the community?
What they should have had was 12 districts. So you had your person.
12 districts, man, at $150,000 a piece, with three each.
Well, it's 100.
Well, no, I think what
You
he's
got
saying
that
is
now.
instead of
I got to get a
four
wide. We got to get a wide span so we can see John too. We're not seeing John on the camera. You guys come over here this way. Can you come over this way?
I can come over a little bit.
Okay,
I
come on,
think.
Wait. There you go.
I just
Come on,
wouldn't
John.
want
Come on back this
John's
way. Come
right
on.
here. Well,
No, you stay right where you are. Come on,
Yeah.
John, this way. This way, John.
You gotta come this way.
No,
so I
just say
I
that
gotta go.
because I got to pull it. Okay, good. Okay, go on. Keep going.
Yeah.
Come on. You come on, John. Come close to him.
I'm already
Where
at
are
the
you?
edge. I got to come closer to you to get that.
I'm sorry, folks. Like I said, we got a salad deal going. We're trying to figure out. I want to make sure we get all of the faces involved in the process.
So what I think John
get
was
a wider
saying,
shot.
instead of having 4 districts
keep
with
talking,
3
keep
people,
keep talking.
do 12 separate districts with
Correct.
1 person per district.
That would be better. And the other thing is that, because that would be, you know who your person is. Now, this new system, now the existing system is it's hard to get rid of a bad incumbent. With the new system, it's going to be hard to keep a good
There we go.
incumbent. Because the thing is, you have a mishmash in there, and some organization can
Yeah.
promote somebody that could bump out almost anybody.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that you have to look at the fact that if you got a good incumbent, they may be hard to keep because if you look at some of the candidates who were in there were really good, and some of the candidates that made it, not good.
So good. Not so. So what he was referencing, instead of having the 4 districts with 3
Right.
people apiece, where it's kind of hard to determine who is over what
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
We're supposed to divide it into 3s.
Right.
Let's see if that happens.
Yes.
Have 12 separate districts
Yes.
with 1 person per district.
Okay.
And that way you know who your person is. That way you know who to go to if you're living within their district. That way you can go. But with the 3 people, I understand what you're saying. 3 people per district. Who's going to be over what area?
Yeah. Okay. See, in all due respect, you're right. But see, what the citizens approved initially was what we ran on.
Well,
Now
and-
it's in place, but the idea, I'm just saying, the idea is that, okay, fine. Now that they have formed, and there were some issues, it would be an idea to get on the table to discuss, because they could do that then. You know, we got to keep what we got.
Well, do you think they will? That's the question.
That's the problem.
Do you think they will? Or do you think they're going to all go in one spot in the district
well,
and then say, come to me if you live in this area? Or are they all going to meet in the middle of the city of Portland, all 12 of them, and just stay in their little ivory tower
that's
and
why-
not be in their
well,
districts?
That's why we're having the discussion
Yeah.
here on Oregon Voters Digest.
Yeah, we need to make sure that
hope
they do that.
And hope the other part of the media gets involved in the process and asks the same questions.
Well, if they're not living in the district, if they're not participating in their own districts
Right.
and helping the people,
Right.
what did we elect them
That's
for?
right. That's right. But the people that said, but the reason for this whole new form of government, look, when you call down there, they don't pick up the phone, they don't communicate with us, and so all these issues, and they don't know what to do, and then they're paying for it. They're paying for the whole system.
And the other bad thing is their office is downtown
Right.
rather than having 4 separate offices out in the districts. And there's plenty of Portland
Parks.
community centers
Yeah.
that have. And the thing is, if they could have their meetings out there, move it around, because when you go to the community centers, there's parking at the community centers and
The community at the
parking
parks,
on it.
they're familiar with the parks, right?
Right,
And that's where the community centers are, right?
that's correct.
Okay, good. So that's what we're talking about. See, we got parks all over the city. We got a hell of a park. It'd be a heck of a location. The office could have been there. We could have saved some money, but then now they still have seats downtown Portland.
They want to be down. That's what they want. Is they want to be downtown Portland in the swamp. They want to not be representing the people
It's
in
the
their
economy.
district.
It's the economy. The people downtown traditionally, the folks downtown, the business community pretty well control the city. I mean, that's it.
Well, but when we have fleeing businesses,
Yes.
who's controlling the city?
That's right, and we got to have that economy. We got to have those businesses downtown, big time.
Well, I was driving yesterday with some friends, and everyone was headed to Woodburn because that's where all the outlets
Yes.
are for Black Friday,
Gee,
right?
well, yes.
Instead
Wow.
of coming downtown Portland,
That's right.
where we have a mall that used to be beautiful, they're going outside of the city of Portland. Everyone's fleeing the city of Portland to do their commerce because who wants to come down here?
Well, we may have to change the sign then. That running deer that sits up there and
Yeah.
advertises.
Well, yeah. The welcome to what is
Welcome to Portland.
Yeah.
You see, that goes nationwide, and folks are saying, well, you just to recognize where Portland is, you just follow the deer, follow the singular deer.
Yes.
In Portland, Oregon.
right
Well,
over the river? You
they-
can see it right there. It's beautiful.
Well, anyway, as you can see, we've got issues. We got some issues, and this is not attacking anybody. It's going to take us all to resolve these issues.
Yes.
We're going to all have to sit at the table, but at the same time, we're going to have to make sure that we got a whole new form of government. And trust me, we've got these folks are going to have to go through boot camp, so to speak. I'm very familiar with those kinds of terms aspect of it. And so yes, so that's why we're having these discussions. We're not trying to be anti them. We
No.
say, okay, fine. You're picking up a salary about $150,000 per person,
Yep.
if you will, in that end of it. And then we got a mayor now that's going to be basically focusing on his own issue, because he doesn't have that responsibility now of being that person.
But he's got that 12-month plan, right?
That's
He's
right,
got that 12-month plan. So
And-
we'll see what
and
happens.
We're going to see what's happening. No, we're going to basically we're going to interview him again. You know what I mean? But he was born here. He was born and raised here, and this, that, and the other. Successful businessman, routine. I mean, he's good property. See, from North Portland. Area aspect of it. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not he can get this thing
Well,
done.
it sounds like from the interviews that he's done, he has a desire to
Right.
clean up the city.
Yes.
He's, for what he said, he's lost friends to homelessness, to the drug addiction aspect.
Yeah.
I really hope he follows through because the city of Portland's struggling.
Yeah. He also mentioned another important part of his plan, that's right, dealing with the churches.
Mm-hmm.
And the churches have been having issues getting folks to come, if you will,
Yeah.
to that deal. And so that's a good marriage piece aspect of it. And his whole, I'm just little pieces that I sort of understood about his plan was that these people are just going to have a place to sleep that night, and then basically they'll have the freedom to go.
He's
at
got
the end of the day.
an idea for what, day and night shelters.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, just day and night shelter. But when they leave that premises, well, how are they employed?
Probably not. I mean,
are they able to? They're peddling downtown. They can't buy anything, right?
no.
And then at night, if people all of a sudden, there's burglaries and all this other good stuff that happens. People have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They have to sleep. They have to go to the restroom. You know what I'm saying? You got me?
Yep.
And so consequently, we want to throw this out to them. And so maybe with the church, it sort of like makes some sense because they kind of like they're a community kind of a organization anyway.
Portland used to be a very Christian city.
Yeah.
Churches used to be very important in the city of Portland.
Yes.
They still are in some of the communities, and so I think working with established churches with the mayor, I think is a good marriage. Let's hope he can get it done.
We got Alabama Ministerial Alliance. We got the diocese. We got another large group of ministries. I think it was something ministries aspect of it. It's a group, if you will, of all the ministers, and so it's there. It's just a matter of putting those pieces together, and hopefully Keith. I'm sure he's probably already contacted them because he was already gotten the organization going. So we're going to wish him a lot of luck, and he's going to take a lot of work with him, as opposed to just playing the politics that he's not been around. But
he's got 31 days till he takes office.
Exactly. Well, good. Did we have any other good points? Because we're going to go on a break at this point.
Like the religious part, Southwest 10th was known as Religious Way, but the thing is, a lot of that shut down. And the thing is that they now charge their parking meters on the afternoon of Sunday, because it used to be Sunday was kind of freebie downtown.
Yeah. Right.
So people would go downtown on a Sunday and be able to do business with the different retail places and restaurants and stuff like that. But now you have to do the meters and Sunday afternoons. So that's kind of a deterrent for going down.
Right.
And so when the other thing about this new form of government, the deal is the mayor and District 1 and District 2 got a 4-year term. So the auditor in District 3 and 4 got a 2-year term this time. So they'll be up for re-election in 2 years.
Now, excuse me,
and then they'll go to 4 years.
Now, where's 1? Where is that? Northwest Portland?
1 is East Portland, and 2 is north and northeast, and 3 is the block of southeast,
so
and
4
4 is west side.
Oh, so 1 is East Portland. Now, who was there in 1?
Jamie Dunphy, Candace Avalos, and Loretta Smith.
Loretta. Okay, good.
Yeah.
She's going to be in 1. And who basically? What district pretty well involved the downtown corridor? Is
That
one
would be District 4.
District 4,
District 4. Okay.
District 4 has a little, what you might call the rich part of southeast. So.
Okay.
But that's how it is so that there will be the election in 2 years, and it will be the auditor and the and District 3 and 4 again. And what that is to have is so every time it comes up for election, you're either voting for the mayor and 2 districts, or you're voting for the auditor in 2 districts. So every time it comes up, you'll be voting for something involving the city of Portland.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, look here, I'll tell you what. Why don't we're going to exchange your seat. You go around and go that way, and this other gentleman's going to come up and take that seat right there.
All right.
And you stick around here, John.
Yes, sir.
And then
Very nice
go
to
that
meet
way.
Y'all
right
have
there.
fun. Real pleasure.
Come on, Jim. Yeah, come on. You have to come this way if you like. All right. Okay. We're going to add another guest here at this point in time. Just come right on up front. Just come right on up front, brother. That's okay. This is community television. We're in good shape. Well, nothing like bringing another jarhead here.
That's right.
I need help.
Yeah.
See, Jim?
Yeah, we got to handle it.
Excuse me, Frank. We got a salt and pepper operation.
Here, I brought you this. Remember? I talked
All right.
about this?
Yes, you did. And this is what is this?
This is Champions Forever. It was the #1 sell-through sports video of 1989.
Wow.
Which I got credit for. I didn't deserve much. I'm thankful that I did.
Wow.
But it's a compilation of the careers of Ollie, Smokin' Joe.
Yes.
Kenny Norton.
Wow.
Larry Holmes.
Wow.
And George Foreman.
Wow.
I met 4 of the 5. I didn't meet George Foreman because he was busy.
Yes.
One of his many comebacks.
Yes, right.
And but it was there's an introduction by the old mongoose,
Oh, my
Archie
God.
Moore.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow. Wow.
I got to go down to I had a video company and a co-op video, and I'm at the very end of the production here. It has my credits. And
Right.
So I get a call. This is before God made computers. So this is like yellow pages in 1988, and the guy's saying, "Hey, I see you got this video company here in San Diego," and I said, "Yeah, we do, but we don't do hardly any production. We do distribution."
Yes.
And he said, "Well, I want to talk to you anyway. Come on, meet me." And he in Southeast San Diego. I don't know who this is. I have no idea. And so he says that he'd give me time and come down, and so I'm going down and knock on the door, and some trepidation.
Wow.
And, open the door. I'm looking. Going, I know this face. I know this because I've been kind of a boxing aficionado, and I'm going. He said, "Come on in, champ." Champ, and the light went on. I said, "This is Archie Moore." I said, "I'll be Archie Moore,
Wow.
the mongoose, with 135 professional fights."
Oh my
I
God!
said,
Oh my God!
He said, "Come on, I want to meet a couple people. You come out in the backyard, and he's got a swimming pool it's shaped like a boxing glove in the backyard right there." So got in the Shays Lounge out there is Kenny Norton and Smoking Joe Frazier. Sitting there.
What? Wow!
I'm slapping.
Oh wow! You got this on? You got this on this piece? Oh wow!
I got the interviews.
Oh
with
my
them.
goodness!
But
That's gonna be a fun
but
piece.
The interview was conducted by, remember the ball player Reggie Jackson?
Yes, right.
And so he was doing the interview.
Oh, okay.
And so I got to meet all of them a number of times during, and they had a big coming out ceremony in Hollywood, black tie type of thing. And again, everyone but George Foreman was there. But it again, just me being kind of a passing student of the boxing world and growing up with these names,
Yes,
it was
that was huge.
I was like I was in heaven.
That was huge.
I was going, this is Smoking Joe Frazier.
Oh my
and I
God!
got a picture of and I was I'm like this.
Oh wow!
And he put on a face. He was
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to do that myself.
I don't hurt me now. I said, don't worry, Joe. You're safe.
Now, where were you residing? Were you in Portland at that point in time?
No,
you
in
were,
San Diego.
You was in San Diego. You was in San Diego.
So, but at any rate, it was the #1 sell-through sports video of 1989. Meaning it went immediately from production into the rental market. Didn't go into movie theaters. And but still, it got the biggest audience of any sports video. And
Wow! How long is this piece?
I don't recall.
Okay,
It's
we
probably an hour.
Well, we want to do some fun. In fact, I'm thinking about the shifting a little bit. If you will, first, this is Jim. You see Jim. Jim's been on already, Spirit,
Yeah.
but we got him doing some other things. But this is a sweet piece here because he spent a lot of times in North Portland too with Matt Dishman, and he's very familiar with the boxing world here in Oregon.
Okay.
Oh, big time.
And Bruce is correct in that, and even to confirm that it wasn't even Matt Dishman. We're talking about Knott Street now.
Knott Street. There you go. There you go.
That
There
we're
you go.
talking about the club.
The
Knott
club.
Street Boxers.
The club.
Boxers, yeah.
Yes, that was a sweet piece, and some of them are still here.
Got a couple of them. We got Ray Lampkin's still around.
Right.
And but most of them are
Who
gone
were
now.
the others over here locally?
Well, there was Richard Sweet Sue,
Okay.
and Andy Kendall, the Scappoose Express, and Johnny Howard, and Michael Corbett, Thad Spencer,
Ted?
and I'm kind of thinking some other names right now, but they escaped the Sullivan brothers, and they went from Knott Street over to Mount Scott.
Yes.
Back and forth, but they kind of terrifies the heavyweight division. But we had a good club. Knott Street was known as a good
Knott Street. Knott Street.
Yep.
It's Matt Dishman. That's the
Matt
man.
Dishman. It became Matt Dishman, I think, in 1970 70,
up in that area.
71.
But it was not. That was the focal point.
Yeah, yeah,
right
but
there at
it's
that
the
point.
same
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
Everything's
yeah,
the same.
yeah.
Except they don't have a boxing club anymore.
Right.
But it's Matt Dishman's was named after one of, if not the first, Multnomah County
Sheriff, wasn't it?
sheriffs,
Yeah.
black sheriff.
African American, yeah, black sheriff,
Yeah.
right?
He may not have been the worst. He may have been the first. And there's actually some pictures of him early in his career, if you go through the archives, of him directing traffic and helping people in the Vanport flood.
Was he boxing at all?
No.
He wasn't boxing.
No.
So but they named it after it.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
he,
Well, the reason why I brought that piece up is so important is that they had something for young folks to go to,
Oh yeah.
and it's there, and it's
Besides
still-
the basketball, you
basketball,
know,
and
it'd be
the
nice
swimming,
to have
is
some
it.
other, yeah.
But the whole idea is that, but if you go to the center now, I wonder, do they have those photos on the wall?
They do have.
They
some.
still have them
Yeah,
there?
They do have.
But-
they've
but
got
my
that-
point-
They've got
but-
a trophy display.
But it's
there.
changed. You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you don't have you don't have any boxing. You know, folks can just go
No.
and sit around and
Not at the Motor Center, no.
No, there's no boxing
So
takes
so
place there.
it's as if to say I'm talking to those folks who were just elected to office here, District Number 2. we need another Matt Dishman. We need another North Stream Community
Well, they've got
Center.
it's the community pool keeps
Right,
the place
right.
open now.
Right, right,
And,
right.
But that doesn't attract that many youth.
No,
It has mostly
no,
middle-aged,
no,
older,
no,
and
no.
and which is fine, and it's crowded, and
Yeah.
they're busy, and
Yeah,
it pays the bills, and that's.
But maybe another gym in one of the community centers. Because see, we
Yeah.
got parks all over the place. See, you know, and they've got the space. You can set something up and do something around the entire city, if
We
you
had
will,
lots
to
of
attract kids.
Clubs, that many years ago. I mean, there was the St. John's Recreation. There was the St. John's Woods. There was a Holy Cross Boxing Club.
There you go,
There
yeah.
was a
Wow.
Portsmouth Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
And,
Wow.
And so there was about 8 or 10 different clubs
Mm-hmm.
that provided multiple functions. They got together and
For young folks,
for youngsters, and they keep the kids off the street.
and we don't have them anymore.
No.
Well, we've got this beautiful thing called technology that keeps the kids busy these days, right?
Oh yeah.
It would be nice to get them out, but a lot of them love being on their phone.
Sure.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
we
TikTok.
need kids out.
TikTok.
Yeah,
What,
TikTok.
John, you're the young man sitting here. Well, what do we do with TikTok?
Oh, well, TikTok is something I don't touch that often.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, what do you think if you had some young kids, fighting,
Doing
and
boxing?
and put them on TikTok and showing how young folks, because Jim has just basically laid out something that I think would be very important to make sure we bring them back to the community, to bring this back.
Very, very surprised at the time that the number of youngsters that helped to get them off the street.
Yeah.
Because we had a good group of coaches over there. I don't know if the name's Chuck Lincoln and his cousin was Amos Big Train.
Big Train, yeah, yep.
And Thad had a brother, Chris Spencer, who was actually a better fighter. He was light heavy. And George Bingham and Clyde Quisenberry and some others. So, and they were mentors to the kids. But you get them in there, and they changed a lot of youngsters' lives around. It was a good place to be, and took them off the street and gave them a place to go, and it was a second home. And I fought for Knott Street. I was very mediocre. I didn't run in the circles of name personalities, but it was a great experience and a good place to be, and it helped a lot of people. And they had the auxiliary, the weight room, which they have now, which is now the Chuck Amato Center. Chuck ran weights there from like 1960.
It used to be at Knott Street.
Yeah.
Matt Dishman.
Yeah, and they've got if you go through the door right there right now, the big extended, nice, opulent weight room compared to what it was along the way. But they named it after Chuck Amato, which they should, because he helped a lot of people through the years there. But it kind of complemented the boxing, because you could just go into the weight room and go boxing. But any of the people I know, coaching wise,
Right,
who's
right.
It was involved amateur wise or otherwise right now, we'll say, generally speaking, is that we don't have the impetus for attracting the boxing people. We don't have the coaches. We don't have the professionals that have the time. But most importantly is, perhaps the kids are more involved with playing on TikTok, and they want to. They're under the impression that if they can dribble a basketball, there's a good chance they'll get drafted by the NBA. And they just end away throwing away
NBA or football, NFL.
and they're going. Even as an amateur boxer, it requires some dedication.
Yes,
purpose, and the kids going, I don't want to do this. I can go dribble a basketball.
Right.
It's no chance.
Well, from my understanding, boxing doesn't have the love that MMA now does. MMA has gotten big through the UFC and through Dana White and what he's
wrestling
done.
was good. You know what I mean?
Wrestling,
was good. That's kind of like.
We just don't have the. They haven't had the leadership, because you're right. You had no Dana White, and there's been no Vince McMahon. There's no marketing genius behind it.
Boxing,
I mean,
But now we do. But now we do. You know the guy that I know him. You know him? You know the guy that I know him from North Portland. You know him?
Who?
You.
Oh, me.
We're doing it now. We're putting it together. No, you're already in the ring.
As a testimonial to how far out of the mainstream that boxing has become, is that the only thing to attract any attention, I know in the last 3-4 years, has been Jake Paul fighting 58-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yes.
That was what a joke that fight was.
Yeah, but still, it was there though. It was
there. Yeah,
and they had other fights there too with it.
Yep.
The undercards, especially the female. Brought
I
that
like that. I liked
that.
That.
There's no marketing genius behind boxing right now.
Right.
There was. For Dana White or Vince McMahon wrestling, but they still fill up the house, and
maybe Jake Paul is trying to take those reins. I mean, he went from social media influencer to professional boxer, but there's just not as big a demand, I think, right now. We need to make it though. I mean, like you've been saying, the community is much benefited from having children get into those
and young people.
rings.
Young people is something that, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of our present political process, they're not responding to some of the other major entities within a community, like senior citizens, like the youth, if you will. You see what I'm saying?
Have they been taught to even respect their elders? No, they haven't.
Well, that's where Jim is kind of coming from the standpoint. We've got what's going to excite them to allow this to get back to the table. And I think the opportunity is here to a certain degree, Jim, because these folks don't know what's going down. We're building up the agenda for them.
Well, they've been taught to not respect their elders. They've been taught to discount what quote unquote old people have to say because they don't know anything about the lifestyle that children are living, right? Well, that's just not true. You used to be young. You used to have fun around. One day,
used to be.
You still are.
Jim,
sorry about that.
Jim, did you hear that used to stuff? Used to? What do you mean?
You know what kids are going through. The youth are going through. We don't have. I mean, you didn't have social media to the extent that we do now, but and you can be a great asset and resource to these young people, but they've been told to discount what you have to say.
Well, that's why we're doing this now. That's why, and hopefully Jim will get some consideration, whatever, and we'll bring some of the folks that we're familiar with and talk. We'll show this piece, spend more time, show the kids what's going down, because now you're talking. Because even Tyson, to a certain degree, once they see him and they look at his history, look at his history and this, that, and the other, and he made some good money. He made some big money.
Mike. He's pretty famous for doing some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, but he's still there. He's a promoter.
I mean, if you look at, if you will, kids today, you ask boxing. There's, if you said, "Hey, I met the mongoose," I met Archie Clark.
Exactly.
Who the hell
is that? That's right.
But
that's right.
If you say Mike Tyson, but in the same, if you're in the world of weights and athletics, who do you know? I know Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't competed since
That's right.
1978.
That's right.
But
You know the name.
Name me one other big name.
That's right.
No,
That's
kids
right.
don't
That's
know.
right. That's right.
But if you're a kid, name me somebody besides Mike Tyson. And,
Yeah. But Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean,
And so you need that kind of draw, and as you suggest, Tyson had his own issues.
yeah.
But there's to his credit,
Right.
at this point,
He's a guy.
he admits to it.
He's a great entertainer.
He's a heck of a deal.
and he said, if Customato hadn't
Yes,
passed away,
yes.
he said, I'd be a different man. Those things
What,
wouldn't happen.
would you be interested in maybe doing a little kind of little shadow deal with Mike? If we got some dollars and
I would
bring him over to
bring-
Portland,
bring
Oregon,
him on, bring
and
him
have a
on.
nice deal at the Coliseum there.
We can get Mike over
can
here.
you do that one, buddy?
That would be a
Bring-
boon to the
bring him
city of
on.
Portland.
I was going to get in the ring as a promotional.
That's right.
For Bob Foster.
Yeah, right.
But it didn't happen.
Right.
But,
We can bring Tyson here. See?
Bob Foster was fighting Andy Kendall in the Scappoose Express.
Yes.
And then they were going to do
Yeah.
a promotional
Yes,
over
right.
here at Knott
Right,
Street.
right.
And my old boxing coach, George Bingham, he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
hey, we want to promote this fight.
Yes.
You're about the same height and weight as Andy
Yes,
Kendall.
there you go.
I said, yeah, so what fight? He says, you want to get in the ring with Bob Foster? I said, well, look at the time. I got to be going. Bob, you talk about the undefeated lightweight champion of the world.
Right.
Undefeated.
Right.
And I said, I was a very, very mediocre welterweight, and so you're not, no, thank you. He said, no, it's going to be just for display, And I said, well, yeah, it's going to be for display, because what am I going to do? But to make a long story short, it was, Bob Foster was coming to town, and he did. He passed through, but that thing didn't take place, the thing at Knott Street. But if you had, I would think if you had a name,
Mike would be
back then,
perfect.
You had a Mike Tyson
Mike
come
would
to
be
town.
perfect, and I think that would be money's well spent for the young folks. I mean,
Well-
imagine being advertised throughout the schools. I mean,
Oh,
throughout the
man,
entire
it would
city.
just be-
Folks would be down here like flies. Trust me. And even the older folks would have been here
It'd be
because Mike
like-
could connect both of those entities. And the kids would just get excited about that piece.
Well, but looking at how he trained and how he got ready for that Jake Paul fight, he is a specimen still
Yes.
at 58 years
Yes.
old. It would be a huge boon to get Mike Tyson. If you see this, Mike, come see us in Portland. We'd love to have you.
Oh, he's a good promoter here. You notice that young man talking about Mike Tyson
you
right
just
now.
gotta name-
See, and they're trying to mention his old stuff. Wait.
Well, you just a name association, like I said, in the sports
Yes.
world, I bring up
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
because
right, exactly.
People who virtually,
Very much so.
90% of the people who know a name and come up with
very
it
much so.
weren't born when
Very
he
much
was
so.
when he
Right.
was when he was.
I wasn't
competing.
around.
But people go, oh well, what did he actually do? Well, he lifted weights, or what
Mm-hmm,
kind of weights? What did he do? It doesn't matter. He was Arnold, and he became the
Terminator.
There you go.
that,
There you go.
And he broke bread. I mean, he married into the Kennedy
He sure
family.
did, sure did.
And he became
The governor of California.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and the youth provider of for physical fitness
Yes.
under
Yes.
George H.W. Bush at first.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And so,
And that was weightlifting. That was just weightlifting.
It was like, and this was H.W. Bush. He could have promoted Walter Payton
Yes.
or Michael Jordan.
Yes.
But they got, well, here's Arnold Schwarzenegger,
That's
somebody
right.
who lifts weights.
That's
All of a
right,
sudden,
that's right.
lifting weights kind of came out of the
That's
closet,
right.
going, here's the president of the United States
there you
telling all the people, get your kids in the gym
Yeah.
and be like Arnold.
There you go.
And,
There you go.
And all of a sudden, you know what happened? The place is filled up.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And so if you get Mike Tyson and he speaks pretty well for the what he's been through, but
The
of
damage
course
he's taken, yeah.
and he's it's a tough go.
Right,
It's a
right,
tough
right,
go.
right,
And
right.
I don't want to do tongue in cheek and say it, and I'm doing this tongue in cheek, but looking back on his storied career, I'm fond of saying the worst fight that Mike Tyson lost was not to Buster Douglas. It was to Robin Gibbons and her mother. That was who.
That's
who
right.
did it. You know what I'm talking
you remember
about.
her, that's right.
I don't know if you do.
you remember
I don't.
the star, the gal he married. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Robin Gibbons' mother. And these two women sat
boy.
at a table just like this with a legal pad. Says, you know, we're going to take this man down. And sure enough, they did. And
Big
it's
time.
But if Customato had been around, he would have said,
She wouldn't have been there.
No, he would have said, you know.
No, you're not gonna go with her. you come over here.
And Customato had been around, you know, he got busted for, you know, he convicted for rape.
Yep.
And of you know, the Miss Black Teenage America,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now the question is now whether you raped her or not. But whoever wants to listen, Mike Tyson had been my fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He was capable of, at any point in time, of generating a $15 to $18 million gate.
Yes.
You know.
Hey.
Chances of him going to the bathroom by himself.
That's right.
There's no way.
There's no way.
You're going to go upstairs
That's right.
to the sixth floor with 16-year-old
There
Miss
you
Black
go.
Teenage
That-
America?
that's
And
right.
No, you're not.
That's right. That's right.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Because it was a lose-lose situation. She didn't have to get raped, whether she did or not. I hope not. But the point is, you know, here's hulking Mike Tyson, and you got this diminutive, pretty little.
Yeah, pretty.
And
Yep.
she's going, he did this, and so, you know, it was like, so how much money do you want?
Right.
What kind of paycheck you want?
Right,
there, lady?
right.
You're 16, and you're never going to have to work again.
That's right. You're right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
But
Gus would not have allowed that.
no.
No, if he's going to have any kind of relationship, he'll say, okay, here's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, he'd control that just like Jim
No,
was
he
saying.
would have said he would have had people around him
Trying to get him.
Again, he's a walking gold mine.
Yeah, oh,
This
yeah.
guy,
Yes.
he could bruise the biggest gate of anybody in the game at
Yes,
that time.
yes.
Like I said, I'm not even familiar with this building, but I can tell you, if Mike Tyson was here, he wouldn't be outside that door without me around him.
That's right.
And with a camera.
That's right.
Going,
That's right.
You're not going to say he did this or did that. He wants to take a leak. He's going to have to go in accompanied.
There you go.
Because he's not
There you
going to be
go.
able to shut
There you
that
go.
door.
There you go.
But that's, again, between Robin Gibbons and her mother and the Miss Black Teenage America.
Yeah, right.
But he bounced back. He came
Oh, he
back.
bounced back. I mean, big time.
Yeah.
He got a family now, the whole 9-yard routine, and he's out there. You know, in all due respect, Jim. Well, that's what we're doing here today.
Yeah.
We're trying to respond to putting some things together to get our town going back. The Portland. This is our living room. This is the living room. This is the living room. So consequently, I think this is hopefully maybe Loretta Smith from District Number 1 is listening and seeing the show. I'm trying to contact her. And then in District 2, there's Dan Ryan. Dan was born up raised up there in the North Portland aspect
Oh,
of
we
it.
got a couple of North Portland boys. We got the mayor and Dan Ryan.
Yeah, there you go, Mayor Dan Ryan. And just sit down and chat with them a little bit about that piece and let that throw it on the table. That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this right now.
I just think again, from the stuff I've written about and
Right.
research and what have you,
Right.
North Portland is
Right.
just like it's
a natural.
It goes. It's
It's
never
perfect.
ending.
Yeah.
But with the animosity and
Yeah.
antagonism that's existed from
Oh yeah.
from the time of the forced annexation, which
Yeah.
happened not once, not twice, but 3 times in
Yeah.
St. John's,
Yep.
and each until the last time where the weight of size from Portland overwhelmed them. But there's a lot of there was at the time just a real feeling of being stabbed in the back, and we're not the colossus of Greater Portland. You know, we're going to give up our anonymity. We're going to give up our flexibility. We're no longer going to have the variety that we did have, and it proved to be correct. And so it's kind of interesting. North Portland, again, it's generations gone now, but there's still a kind of a craw in the hand. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
like right now, for instance, reading and looking at people in North Portland are
Right.
going, hey, you know what? The city of Portland's closing down our swimming pool,
Yep. Isn't that
Columbia
something?
Park.
Isn't that
And,
something?
but they said they don't have the money to keep it open. They don't have the money to do the maintenance. Oh, they didn't have the money to keep Pier Park open either, but they had the money to keep Mount Scott open, and they got the money for Grant Park. And they're going, you know, what's that about? You have the money here, but over here, what do you think? You're in North Portland, you can't swim, you're too stupid to swim. And so they're going, well, this is just a continuation of the neglect that is visited. You know, it's like, you know, where do we want to put our recycling centers? Where do we want to put the dump?
Right,
Well,
the bottle thing.
yeah, where do we want to put the bottle drop? Where it took 20 years to get rid of the dump there
Exactly.
off of Pheasant.
Exactly.
Where they just, you know, you're just overrun with rats and this and that, and they're going, well, that's what these bastards from North Portland deserve for being resisting the annexation. And so we teach them a lesson. But there's still that type of.
But now we're here, Jim.
Yeah,
I mean, Jim was over here at one point in time, and then I was on this other end of it. We were both doing basically just trying to communicate, but we're together now.
you'd be like a mother to her son.
That's right. And then you're sitting up here as a young man. We're going to make sure we're going to rely on you a little bit there. Aspect of it.
It's the opportunity is there. Portland,
just do it.
I just you don't. I don't have any answers. Don't get me wrong.
I
So
same
there's
here.
no 100% solution.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not.
Right.
We're gonna.
It'll take us all.
But I think that what is necessary to the primary the issues that are in the forefront right now, from drug abuse to homelessness, the cost of living, and I hold a good thought for the incoming people. That
Yes.
but as I've mentioned previously, I'm concerned because of this new form of government.
Yeah.
Even the people who are involved with it only vicariously can tell me how it's supposed to work.
Right.
Right. And so this is like trying to embrace the fog. I want to know how it's going to work. And if you can't tell me, I want you to point to another city of appreciable size, and say, they've adopted this form of government. They've done so for so many years, and this is how successful it's been. And I asked that of these people, and I've asked them during the campaign, can you point to this? And they'll go, no.
Yeah.
I said, so what role model are we basing this upon?
None.
Well, what are we replicating here? What are we doing? Oh, we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, and you're getting paid 150 grand to pin this, right?
Huh.
And let me see if I have this right. And I said, I don't want to be the, fly in the ointment. And again, I don't want to be the person.
But
to
you're
say,
paying for it.
Listen to me because I'm smart and I have any
No,
answers.
no,
I don't. But all I can say categorically is what the rest of the city is saying and witnessing is, listen up close, folks. Whatever we've been doing so far hasn't worked.
Well, we were talking about with John in the last section that they need to evenly divide those districts. If they're not going to do that, what did we elect them for?
Well, and it isn't the election, I mean, again, caustic, cynical me, and I'm an outsider looking in, and so don't...
You got about
but
30 seconds.
isn't
Keep
this,
going. We're gonna
isn't this just, to me, look like it's bureaucracy building? We've taken one and we've been... And, caustic, cynical me, I'm fond of a phrase that I've used for many, many years, decades, is that bureaucracies either need to grow or die, and they become less efficient with age. So what have we done? And if we've done this, point to why we took this route based upon the success of other cities that have done this, and it's not there.
On that particular point, they're not there, but they will be there on our next show, because we'll discuss this and expand on it. Okay?
All right.
Sounds good. Folks, thank you very, very much for joining us. Hey, join us next week, and we'll hit this salad again with the regular troops. Yeah. We're going to get something done. Have a good one. Take care. Good job.